Education and Director of Center for Educational Development. She specializes in instructional design, e-learning, and the integration of emerging technologies in teaching and learning. Her research focuses on artificial intelligence in education, blended learning environments, and teacher professional development. She is actively involved in preparing pre-service teachers and designing innovative technology-enhanced learning experiences. So let's all welcome our guest, Dr. Nadeyah Alreiahi, is an assistant professor of educational technology at Kuwait University's College Educational College of Education. So it's really a pleasure to have you on Good Morning Kuwait.
Thank you. Nice to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Let's a little bit talk about what is College of Education. I mean, your specialty, educational technology.
Yes.
What does it talk about?
We focus on creating learning environments for students, and we train teachers to become future teachers in the workforce, to use technology effectively on students and in various subject areas.
So you prepare the curriculum and all that?
Yes, we train teachers to become teachers in the workforce in Kuwait. Most of our student teachers graduate to work in the workforce.
Indeed.
99% of them actually work in the workforce.
So, Dr. Nadeyah, what are online assessments and how are they used in education today?
Yes, this topic is a new topic now because we're online again after what happened with Corona. We're back to online. Online assessments essentially is how we can assess students using online tools via the internet or different applications online.
Yes. So, in your opinion, how have online assessments using online platforms impact student engagements and learning?
So it's a learning curve for most teachers and instructors to actually perform well online. We're trying to engage students so they're not, kind of bored. We're trying to implement all the teaching strategies we do in the classroom, but online. So we're trying to do group work, project assessments, quizzes. We're using various forms of assessments such as Google Forms or Microsoft Office Forms, which is paid by actually the government in Kuwait. So all students in all areas from K to 12 to up to the university level, we're actually using these assessments to understand whether they understand the material or not, regardless of the subject area.
So what challenges do teachers and students face when using online assessment tools?
There are many challenges right now. First and foremost is technical issues. When we first started becoming online, we had lots of technical issues, internet shortages, we need to have really strong internet in order for us to get the exam online. We had a lot of pressure on some servers. So for example, if everyone was doing the exam all at once, it would crash. So we had to mitigate and try to find other ways to actually get these, divide times. We had, kind of scheduling issues. Also, some teachers weren't trained to use these technologies. So we are doing ongoing training courses throughout this whole semester,
especially the Microsoft Teams.
Yes, Microsoft Teams. We are trying to, remind students how to use Teams. Now, me training my students, they're going to be future teachers. This was a good opportunity to teach them how to use these tools, and I'm actually assessing them. Can you, create an online quiz? Can you create an assessment that actually looks at, for example, how they're doing in math or how they're doing in science? So it's basically overcoming all of these obstacles.
I think after all that time, definitely it's not that tough.
Yes, after all the training that they've had and all the practice that they've had, most people have, gone past these.
I taught for two, because I have masters in electronics engineering.
Yes, that's
amazing. And I taught for 2 courses, physics and electronics. Basic electronics.
Online?
Online for communication college.
And the PIAT?
Navigation. Yeah, I remember using, the pen.
Yes.
Yeah, the electronic pen.
Yes,
for solving problems and physics.
And did it help them? Did you find that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, but honestly, you know, online, you know, a lot of students, I think they are, you know, watching the, I mean, the whole class from the bed.
Yes, exactly. So we also have that issue where some students don't open their cameras. I know in public schools we don't, you know, they don't need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
In private schools they do actually, you know, suggest, and they have to wear their uniform and they have to open their cameras.
As if, you know, they are in class.
Yes, so we have that issue of, are they actually paying attention? How can I get my students to pay attention? And this is the challenge for teachers.
So how can teachers ensure fairness and academic integrity?
This is a very important question. Ethically, we're trying to create students that are critical thinkers. We're trying to create students that actually know how to solve problems. But now with the introduction of AI, it is very hard and difficult for us to actually mitigate all of these issues. How do we create different assessments? So basically, I think from now until the future, we're going to change the way we see assessments. It shouldn't be all exams. It should be project-based. It should be, critical thinking, case studies, trying to find ways to use the open book kind of exam, because we know that they're going to use AI. We have to embrace the use of AI and kind of tell them, you know what, you can use AI, but what is wrong with what he gave you or what this application gave you? How can you make it better? So instead of asking them to write an essay, and I'm going to grade your essay, I can actually go around and say, you know what, use AI. Let's see what the AI comes up with. Come to class and let's change it.
Let's discuss it.
Let's discuss it. So now with online, that's what I'm doing with my students. I know that they're going to use AI. It's not cheating. It is using the resources that they have in a way that is going to make them...
And it's in life, you know, in real world also we use our resources.
Yes, we have to actually embrace the use of AI instead of say, you know what, don't use it, because they're going to use it.
They will use it, definitely. What are alternative ways to assess students online using these tools instead of traditional exams?
So we just discussed this. So, you know, using different types of... so presentations is a great way.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They can actually use AI to create the presentation, but when they do present it, they need to understand the material. You know, they can use group work. I try to put them in teams, and they can actually work on a group project. So here's the issue. You have students that don't pay attention. How do you make them pay attention? So they actually have real world problems that they work on instead of just, you know, repetition of exams.
So what role do emerging technologies such as AI tools like ChatGPT play in shaping the future of online assessment? So, you know, I know any students will go for online because as it's quick, a quick fix, as they say.
Yes, and we don't want inflated grades.
Yeah,
so
but,
the problem
I mean, this issue we have to really address, Dr. Nadeyah.
Yes, yes.
You know, for example,
I
mean, it's there now, and they have all of us, you know, using that.
Everyone is using it.
So we need, you know, a strategy.
Yes. So. Hopefully with educational reform in the future, we're going to actually implement, you know, teaching students how to ethically and wisely use AI. So if we train them, even if, you know, from first grade, we can say, you know what, you can use this application, it's going to give you the answers, but we don't want them to stop thinking and to, you know, kind of fully be, you know, I have to do this with AI. We don't want them to be dependent on the AI, but as well, we want them to actually find different ways to critical think and to be creative. And
you mentioned problem solving, because in engineering, you know, a good engineer who solves a problem.
Agreed, yes.
It's not like, you know, you have to do a design. No, there is a problem, you have to solve it.
Yes.
And solve it in very minimal cost.
Exactly,
so,
yes.
Talk to me about problem solving.
I think problem solving, project-based learning, using, you know, brainstorming activities is going to open up this pathway of creative thinking instead of just learning and you know, memorizing the information.
Indeed,
so online or face-to-face, we need to find ways of tapping into this to make them critical thinkers, because we don't want them to say, I don't know the answer, I'm going to check online. I want them to figure out what the answer is by themselves.
So I remember back in the academic, you know, educational life.
Yes.
Our professor forbidden any online references. So
Okay.
yeah, so it has to be a published book, and you know, if you have a reference or something.
Yes,
I
there's
mean,
two schools
do
in
you
that.
use that kind of law or
No.
regulations in educational?
Right now, we kind of use any online source that is
Okay.
you know, from a
Because let's face it,
Yes.
AI, you know, will go. If correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
What I understood from AI
Yes.
so far, AI goes around what's on the online.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And sees what's the most repetitive answer.
Yes.
And brings it to you.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yes. It is.
Okay.
It is an online source. It
Okay,
pulls
so
in from different
sometimes
sources.
if there is a lot of schemers, you know, and a lot of people, you know, hackers or people just putting informations without any evidence,
Exactly.
it will bring it to you.
Yes, exactly. So you always have to check the sources that AI gives you, the references, the journals. So there are journals that are actually from great publishing, entities or sources. However, you have to be careful where you get your sources from. And even whatever AI gives you, you need to double check them and make sure that they're from, you know, ethical sources. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, that's a thing we have to also exactly giving projects is very good.
I
thing.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
And this is the way to go now.
But I hope, you know, they don't go also to, you know, crooked way.
There has to be exams. There has to be a way to evaluate.
I mean, definitely the traditional one
Yes.
way, but also there is also alternative.
So what we're doing now with the online, I think, you know, with elementary students, is they're doing coursework. So it's, their coursework is giving them the grade at the end, which is a great step. Using exams with open book, for example, for you know, higher education or high school students is another way.
Wow.
You know what? You can use the book, find the answer, and try to figure out how, you know, the solution is.
I remember, you know, from let's say year one until masters, you see the information, you read it, you understand it, and you write it with your own words.
This is
That's
exactly it.
Okay.
Yes, this
Am
is
I
exactly
correct?
yes, because AI is going to give you a million answers, but what do you see the answers?
You don't copy and paste. No, you understood it. Okay, digest it and go and write it with your own.
And they don't paraphrase
words.
here, so we're trying to get them to paraphrase and not plagiarize. You know, plagiarism is just taking someone else's work and putting it, you know, in your own name, which is incorrect. When you take something that you've read, you need to, you know, reword it and rephrase it.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Definitely. Any last message, Dr. Nadeyah?
I hope that we go into this, you know, towards this way of thinking where we stay with formative assessment, summative assessment, online tools, but also, you know, look at problem solving, look at, you know, creating projects, look at real world issues that they can actually use in the future.
Dr. Nadeyah Alreiahi, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
That was our guest, Dr. Nadeyah Alreiahi, Assistant Professor of Educational Technology at Kuwait University. Please, dear viewers, stay tuned and don't go away. We'll be back.